We are Hubdrive. Our vision is to empower people and organizations in HR management.
Okay, hello, Charles. It's great that you join us here today at the first annual HR Partner Conference. Thank you for that.
And of course, thank you for having me. I'm super excited for our conversation today. I think we have a lot of great news and a lot of great forward-looking statements to make about the broader business application ecosystem for Microsoft.
Great. How do you like the idea of Hubdrive organizing such a conference dedicated only to the HR-focused Microsoft partners?
So I think we really like it for two major reasons. The first is what we've learned from our customers is that Dynamics 365 and the Power Platform are only as strong as the ecosystem that surrounds it. And that's technology and IP provided by independent software vendors, as well as partners that help them implement and integrate and get value from their investments. And without that ecosystem, you can't really scale to, the hundreds of countries and tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of companies that we enable with Dynamics and the Power Platform. The second thing is one of the big pushes we've done over the last 12 or 18 months is align our messaging and products around different lines of business or different departments. The finance department, the sales department, the customer service department, and the HR department. So having a session like this where we can bring together ecosystem and customers and partners around serving the HR function is super exciting for us.
Okay, great. So I understand that the topic of HR management is more and more important for Microsoft, yeah?
Yep, that's right. Yeah, and I think that we talk about this idea of unless you really empower and enable your employees, you can't really transform operations or customer experience. We see all of these things mixed together in world-class companies. Happy employees, happy customers.
Great. So when we both met first time in 2018 at Inspire in Las Vegas, you were just a few months in your new role as general manager for Power Platform. And since then, there was so much innovation and improvements introduced to this whole topic. When you look back at these 5 years, what excites you personally the most?
I mean, probably the thing that one of my favorite things is just how we've successfully transitioned the entire Dynamics 365 portfolio to a modern, highly available performance SaaS offering in the public cloud as one of the very few large-scale business applications out there, which was born and runs inside the public cloud. Dynamics 365 is unique in that we can take advantage of all of these great cloud capabilities. And that's a little bit the engineering nerd in me. So you forgive that. I was a developer kind of before all of this. And the second thing that I think is really interesting is the recent developments around AI in terms of really transforming how predictive and insightful the applications can be based on the data they collect. And this is things like forecasting, identifying key contributors to growth, helping bring together the right people and the right data at the right time and place. So in lots of little areas, AI has kind of crept into the platform. And as a result, crept into all these different applications and really created some next generation, next level experiences.
I can absolutely see this also. So I like it. Yeah. As you said, you are a little bit more technical also. So let's look into more technical questions. Therefore, what do you see as the key benefits that the Power Platform now has that more and more partners are moving towards to the Power Platform?
Yeah, I would say one of the biggest things is we've increased the investment and enhancements in the Power Platform around professional developer or code-based extensibility. And what I mean by that is things like the Power Apps component framework, where developers can use JavaScript or TypeScript to build custom controls, which show up inside of Canvas or model-driven applications, or what we've done to simplify data integration between Dataverse and Azure with things like Synapse Link, where you get near real-time replication from Dataverse directly into your Azure Data Lake and your Synapse instance, as well as the investments around software development lifecycle. So source control and CI/CD, or continuous integration and continuous deployment, which make it easy to have all the normal trappings of a professional developer project, but still use the Power Platform to go faster than ever. And that's really unlocked so many of our highly skilled and highly capable partners out there.
Okay. Yes. I guess I got it. So makes sense. Years ago, Microsoft acquired lots of systems and platforms, for example, Solomon, Great Plains, and so on. Today, the most visible ones are Dynamics 365 Customer Engagement, formerly called CRM, now Power Platform, and F&O, so Finance and Supply Chain Management. How do you envision that these two platforms work together?
Yeah, we think over time, there will be a comprehensive Dynamics application suite built on top of a comprehensive and unified platform. And when we talk about that unified platform, it's really going to be something which keeps forwards and backwards compatibility. So all the investments that our partners and customers have made around, say, the AX platform and F&O, or around Dataverse or around XRM, all carry forward in a more integrated and streamlined way. And you can see the beginnings of how we've done that with things like dual write and virtual entities to expose data back and forth, or other things we're doing around bringing more UI controls and components back and forth between, say, F&O and unified client, which is what shows up in model-driven apps and inside of CE. So I'd say kind of mixing and matching and blurring the lines is exactly our goal. And to do it in a way where there's absolutely no replatforming, there's no migration, none of that for any of our customers and partners, which is really important. And also is what makes it a little bit challenging. So that's kind of the project we're working on. And like I mentioned, a lot of great enhancements over the last couple of years and a whole bunch of amazing integrations and I think merging of functionality planned for the next 2 or 3 years too. And we have our own internal roadmap, which I won't share here to avoid getting in trouble. We can see quarter by quarter by quarter how we're making progress.
So the good news is here are only partners which are under NDA, but I understand what you say. Just going into the detail that you mentioned. So will it be, maybe you can give us a glimpse there, will it be only one interface for both platforms in the future?
Yeah, I would say the goal is to ultimately get to one interface. And the thing is to do that, it may be one interface, but it may actually have individual components. So if folks have seen what we've been doing in Power Apps, we brought together, for example, model-driven applications and Canvas apps into a single app type. And you can edit this inside the modern app designer, where you can basically add a Canvas page alongside model-driven pages. So if you can imagine, there may be a third type of page called like an F&O page or an AX platform page, and you can mix and match them inside a single solution. So that's kind of how we're thinking of we can get to a unified application model, but do it in a way where all the existing UI investments carry forward. So that's kind of what we're mapping to. But really our North Star is single database, single UI platform, single programming model, which supports lots of different approaches, whether it's JavaScript, TypeScript, X++, C#, Python even. We want to make sure they're all enabled. And that's kind of the natural progression of every platform right now. Every customer we work with, every partner we work with, they have a workforce of different backgrounds and different skill sets, and they want to bring their backgrounds and their skill sets to Dynamics and Power Platform without necessarily always having to retrain. So we're going to support and enable that. So kind of a long-winded answer to the question, but it is a very nuanced and complicated answer. So hopefully that's helpful.
Yeah, absolutely. For me, and I guess also for the partners, and I personally can't wait for it. Yeah.
Yes, us neither, because on the Microsoft side, it will make our lives a heck of a lot easier and better for user satisfaction and performance and all that too.
Yes. And this might also help for the question that we have right now here. If I'm a partner and I have knowledge on both sides, on F&O and the Power Platform, and now I need to build an extension for a customer, what aspects would you recommend to consider for deciding which platform I should use for the extension?
Yeah, I think there's a few considerations. The first and the easiest is it a workflow or process which spans multiple systems? So it may be anchored around data in F&O, like say invoices or orders. But if it's going to connect out to a bunch of other systems, that is a perfect use case for the Power Platform, because you can very easily build a Power App that spans F&O and a SQL database and an Oracle database and even some microservices that they have inside their IT department. Power Apps is great for that. Power Automate is great for that. Power BI is great for that. And all the Power Platform is great for those workflows and tasks which span multiple systems, even if the majority and the center of gravity is around F&O. Simplifies data integration, simplifies data movement, simplifies security. So that's kind of item number one. Item number two is if you really want to push the envelope around mobile experiences. So we have a lot of customers who will build highly tailored, pixel perfect mobile apps, which connect back to F&O data. Like field service and field work around recording activities or recording assets and inventory. Very common use case for, say, Power Apps around F&O. Another one is around automation. So Power Automate is really the market leading by adoption and usage RPA provider out there. So if you want to do RPA around F&O, we see this a lot. So in core financials or in HR, we have a lot of customers who automate HR tasks using Power Automate alongside F&O. So kind of those are three that pop top of mind. There's, and just like all things in Power Platform, there's a long tail of potential use cases. But those are probably the three most common that I see. And also are great opportunities for any F&O partner to expand the value proposition you offer to your customers and also to go fill out the solutions that we ship. And that's kind of why we have the Power Platform.
Mm-hmm. Yes, makes sense. And especially the thing with mobile is definitely a good point where F&O currently still has limitations. Yeah okay. Now, speaking about F&O, Microsoft is building the HR module back into F&O. And so now it becomes more easy for F&O partners to extend the HR module directly in F&O with X++. Why should these F&O partners still invest into building up knowledge on the Power Platform? So I guess you answered it kind of in the last question, but maybe there is something more you want to add there, yeah?
Yeah, I mean, I think the first thing is like we are beyond excited about bringing kind of HR back into the fold with F&O. I think that was kind of a painful lesson of definitely what we did not need was yet another platform or another fork. So bringing HR right into core F&O is something that we think is going to really change the game for us. That said, it is a great question about what's the role of Power Platform given that. And the biggest thing I would kind of emphasize is so many HR processes span multiple different systems, employee onboarding, employee training, employee hire to retire, all of that, and to interact with other systems. And Power Platform is a great way to extend out from the HR module into all those other offerings inside of the company. The other thing I would say is HR is full of custom processes with every single one of our customers that we work with. And many of those processes have no need to be inside of the core HR module. And like the reality is we all sell business process transformation. We help our customers transform how they support their people, how they run their HR department. And that is a very large surface area. The HR module covers this much, but all of this stuff over here, that's opportunity for ISVs and third parties and partners to implement. And the Power Platform is probably the best possible way to do that. So I would say go check it out for all those reasons. And we really think that one of the biggest value propositions for F&O right now is the Power Platform. Despite being like a slightly different platform, but we have great connectors, we have great integration and great support.
I absolutely can agree to that, as we are, as an ISV, doing this all day long. And with the dual rights and virtual entities, this is much better to connect there and much easier to do it. Yes, absolutely. Yeah. So it sounds like the Power Platform is a genius tool, and but do you see limitations of the Power Platform? Maybe considering also the current available version and long term?
Yeah, like I would say definitely there's always limitations, and that happens as you're like kind of innovating the new area. Because I think we've been very fortunate at Microsoft with Power Platform to really set the tone and the direction for the low-code market. Power Apps is the most widely adopted low-code application platform in the market. Power BI is the most widely adopted self-service BI tool in the market. Power Automate would be recommended by the majority of CIOs as their automation platform of choice. So really kind of everywhere you look, Power Platform is pushing the envelope. Now, When you push the envelope, that means you're kind of forging your own trail through the wilderness, right? There's nothing we can follow. We're the one that's actually kind of carving the way through that. And as we do that, we learn lots of places and lots of areas that we could improve. And if I were to say the two biggest things that we're focused on improving and streamlining for the Power Platform right now, the first is making it even easier to have governance and centralized control for widespread low-code adoption inside of a company. So that way business users, IT professionals, and professional developers can all use the same platform to build amazing solutions together in a safe, secure, repeatable way. And we have amazing capabilities that's just come out, like managed environments or the automation COE toolkit. And we have more planned, but we really have to stick the landing on governance to make sure we can complete this transformation of making everybody in the world a low-code developer. And the second big one, and this is probably very relevant to the partners listening in, is improving the way that we support standard professional developer lifecycle activities, like moving to pre-production, doing user acceptance testing, do performance testing, doing validation against regressions, all of that. And we have a lot of capabilities, like I mentioned some of them earlier, but there's a whole lot left to do. Because basically what we're realizing is we have to replicate to a degree what people expect after 30 years of professional development at scale and 10 years after public cloud development at scale. We have to replicate those same capabilities inside Power Platform. So we're furiously catching up and reimagining them in the Power Platform low-code way. But and one of the big announcements we had recently was something called pipelines, which simplify in the product how you can go bring changes between different environments, between, say, sandbox and production, and how you go take changes and merge requests. So I'd say in both cases, governance and pro dev lifecycle, things that are top of mind. We've shipped a ton of improvements the last 12, 18 months, and customers are telling us they love it, but they want more. So we have a whole bunch more planned over the next 12 to 18 months on both of those fronts. And you probably will see that in Ignite and our business application launch events and Build and lots of other places, all these big enhancements as they come out over the next 12 months.
I'm looking forward to it. Absolutely. And sounds really, really interesting. Yeah. So this is very much looking forward to it. So we have been talking about HR moving back to F&O. So I guess Microsoft knows that there was some kind of uncertainty at customers, but also at partners, how Microsoft wants to deal with the HR management topic. And we talked in the beginning about how important it is. So can partners and customers rely on that Microsoft, together with ISVs like Hubdrive and partners implementing, will further extend the Power Platform and F&O in an innovative way for HR management?
Yep, absolutely. And I think kind of what's interesting is we really appreciated two things based on customer feedback and sharpening our messaging. The first is there are many of our customers who are looking to Microsoft to help them with what we call a service-centric transformation. And what we mean by that is many of our customers are moving from a model where they just sell products. Here's a widget, here's a tire, here's a bolt, to instead being they sell a product and a service. And that is something like, here is a manufacturing piece of equipment, and instead of buying it outright, you actually pay a monthly bill, which includes servicing and maintenance. And this shift to service-centric, it's disrupting almost every industry. And like if you look, like Peloton is doing that for home exercise equipment. Peloton sells equipment, but their main business is selling a recurring subscription and a service. If you look at I'd say like Netflix is that same model, or even things like Dollar Shave Club, where it's actually a recurring subscription as opposed to buying razors outright. So kind of this model of moving to a service-centric business model with subscriptions and services surrounding it is becoming more and more prominent. And in that world where you're becoming a service-centric company, you cannot separate finance or supply chain from HR. They go hand in hand because you have to manage your workforce. You have to manage the people that provide project services. You have to manage the people who support it in an ongoing fashion. And just like how historically finance supply chain is close together because that defines ERP for product-centric companies, we're seeing that a modern service-centric company needs supply chain, finance, and HR. So again, a little bit long-winded of an answer, but what we've really seen is this push towards kind of an end-to-end solution, which manages my people, my finances, and my products and manufacturing in an integrated way. So that has us very excited, and that actually has helped motivate bringing HR back into F&O. Now, the second thing that we're hearing is a lot of our customers are very much tired of stitching together a whole bunch of different business applications to run their company. Going out and getting something to do core financials, and then something for HR, and something for manufacturing, and something for custom low-code app development, and something for low-code automation. Customers have a little bit of fatigue around that because the total cost of ownership and the cost of bringing these things together and maintaining them ends up being bigger and bigger every year. So a lot of customers have turned to us and said, we want Microsoft to provide a holistic solution, HR, finance, low-code platform, core supply chain, inventory management, all of that. And that's something they're looking for. And the good news is that Microsoft is very uniquely positioned based on our business applications and platforms to be that single comprehensive provider of technology. So both of those things, the market shift towards service-centric companies and the market shift towards customers looking for more integrated, comprehensive solutions, have driven us to really embrace and view HR application module as existential to our broader ambitions in business applications. And that's kind of just a very peek inside behind the curtain of strategically and how we've thought about it, and kind of where we think there's a lot of opportunity for Microsoft and the ecosystem over the next couple of years.
Yes, thank you. And I definitely can tell you that most of the customers that approach partners that are sitting here in demand of an HR solution currently use up to 7 different systems with maybe up to 7 different user logins. So it's 100% what you said, that they want to simplify that and they want to consolidate that, putting it only in a holistic solution.
Yeah. And I think what's amazing is at Microsoft, of course, we don't live this life because we're all Microsoft stack top to bottom. We all have one Azure Active Directory login, and it's just kind of seamlessly signed on to all of these things, and they kind of just all integrate. But you don't realize it. Like, my brother got a job at a new company, and he was telling me how he has like 10 different systems he has to use every day to get his job done. Record time here, record HR tasks here, do your core operational activities here. And I kind of was blown away. There's like duct tape over the top of it with like identity providers and stuff. But like, he was just kind of explaining to me, and it made me really appreciate being on the Microsoft stack internally at Microsoft, because of course we use all of our own products wherever possible.
Yeah, I guess this makes pretty much sense. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So thank you up to here. So these were really amazing insights for the partners in the audience today, and definitely very good takeaways, especially regarding your strategy moving forward with the platforms. Now, as you know, we gave partners the chance to submit some questions in advance. So all the partners that submitted questions are sitting around me now. And I have the questions with me, so I would like to walk you through these questions now. Yeah. So the first one.
The tough ones start now. Sorry.
Yes. Yeah, so I guess they are quite easy. Yeah. So one of them, I guess it's going in the direction that we had a quick glimpse before. So when the partner works with large customers and wants to build functions both using F&O and Power Platform, and right now they have difference in maintaining and lifecycle management these functions that they extend. Yeah. So therefore, maintaining and updating the system is not that easy that it would be just if they put all in one or the other platform. What is in your mind about long-term or mid-term improvements in that administration area?
Yeah, so this is a great question. So I would say the good news is we have a lot of near, mid, and long-term improvements to make it much more seamless when you go take solutions across, say, Dataverse and Power Apps and together with the F&O. So one of the things that we're doing is we're first and foremost bringing LCS functionality into the Unified Admin Center. And when we talk about bringing LCS functionality there, we mean not only supporting managing your F&O environments, but also bringing some of the best aspects of F&O lifecycle management to all of Dynamics 365 and Power Platform. My favorite example of that is I love implementation guides. They're such an amazing set of capabilities to go make sure we can extend that across kind of all our different offerings. So that unified admin center experience, as well as a lot of LCS functionality being supported more broadly, that's coming in the near to midterm. Second thing we're doing is we're focusing on how can we go create more environmental lifecycle actions and operations, which happen concurrently across the two systems. And like a good example of that today is you can link a Dataverse environment together with an F&O environment, and some operations start to behave together. Well, we want to make more operations work together, things like solution import or basically code deployments to make them be more seamlessly integrated. So we have the beginnings of that with the linked environments, and we hope to make that even better kind of every month. And then the third piece I would say is really making it so you can seamlessly bring programming models and developer experience back and forth. So Visual Studio or VS Code, or even programming languages, or even extensibility hooks, bringing on both sides. So kind of all three of those are underway. And every single release wave, we are taking a step towards making this true. And kind of, we actually had a meeting yesterday where we were talking about exactly this. And kind of the line in the sand is we really want to make it feel like one Dynamics 365 and one platform by 2025. And along the way, there's improvements every single quarter. But by then, you'll kind of step back and go, I don't see any seams between F&O and Dataverse, or F&O and CE, or F&O and Power Platform, or any other permutation. That is our goal. And this is kind of the last 3 years of what has been a 5-year plan. So we're almost halfway through. So very excited to kind of get all of those improvements released over the next wave and also over the next couple of years.
This is amazing. I definitely can't wait for that. So thanks for sharing that. Yeah. So next question from a partner sitting in the audience is, there might be still a confusion regarding D365 CE and Power Platform. Both is basically based on the same technology. How do you differentiate these two products, and how do you suggest that partners explain it to customers?
Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing the easiest thing to say is Dynamics 365 CE is an application built by Microsoft developers on top of Power Apps and Dataverse. And that kind of helps customers understand, because it kind of helps land two important things. The first is that basically the Power Platform can scale to even the most sophisticated applications, because we are quite literally building multi-billion-dollar cloud businesses in Dynamics 365 on top of Power Apps. So, and those are fairly complicated apps. So the platform can really scale. And if you use a platform to build your app, customers can further extend, customize, and configure and tailor it. So that's kind of item number one. Second thing is it lands that there's actually a lot of IP and capability in the app on top of the platform. We got like over 1,000 full-time engineers just writing app code for CE on top of Dataverse and Power Apps. That is all amazing value, which is packaged inside of Dynamics 365 Sales, Dynamics 365 Customer Service, and so on. And that IP makes sense to get off the shelf instead of trying to recreate. So I'd say very powerful platform. The app's built on the platform, supports customization, and the app is chock full of value and logic and process and all of that on top of the platform. And kind of both are important, because sometimes while customers talk about, should I just build my own experience on top of the platform instead of getting the app? And it's universally, the answer is going to be no, because you're not going to be able to replicate all the amazing capabilities we ship every day inside the app. Then the other side, people say, okay, well, what's the value of the platform if I have the app? And the value is because you got to customize and tailor the app to your unique business processes and needs. So that's kind of how we see it fitting together. And I have a slide I always use, which talks about Dynamics 365 is being built on a platform that lasts. And it's this idea of Azure on the bottom, Power Platform on top of Azure, and Dynamics 365 on the top. You can start as high as you can in that stack and go as low as you need to transform your business and get the outcomes and the results you want.
I guess this is a very, very good and easy answer, and I definitely will remember it when I'm asked for the next time. And I guess also this was a very good idea that you and your team had 3 or 4 years ago to rebuild the first party apps like sales and service, so that it's really an app on the Power Platform and not using something hidden or not available functions. I remember that.
Yeah. And like that was we call it like the great app plat separation, because app and plat used to be mixed. And now we've separated it where we have a really clear boundary between platform and app in a programming model. And that same programming model, like you mentioned, is what's available to ISVs or partners that build on the same platform.
Yes, this is definitely very important. Yeah. I guess the next question matches very much into that topic, because where do you personally see the Power Platform start and where does it end? So is Power Automate and Power BI part of it, or are they separate products from your point of view?
Yeah, I would say like in our mind, Power Platform is 5 products: Power BI, Power Apps, Power Automate, Power Pages, and Power Virtual Agent. And the reason they're bundled together is because they're united in the experience and their promise of accessibility to the entire company. And what I mean by that is, if you use Power BI or Power Apps, it feels like Excel and PowerPoint had a baby. If you use Power Automate, it feels like you're using Excel with Visio. If you use Power Virtual Agent, you can kind of get the drift as you go across all of them. They feel similar, and we are bringing concepts across all of them, like AI Builder, like Power FX, like the new Power Automate Copilot for AI assisted development. So we do think there's a unifying experience, unifying layer across all of them, where if you learn Power BI, you can learn Power Apps, you can learn Power Automate, and so on. Additionally, one of the big things we talk about for the Power Platform is that all of the Power Platform products are built for no code, low code, or pro code. If you're a business user just doing drag and drop, if you're a little more technically savvy and you want to write some lightweight expressions, or if you want to write a whole bunch of code, you can do that on any one of these 5 products. The whole company is able to take advantage of the Power Platform. And the reason we think they really belong together is because also a typical solution is never just an app or just a dashboard. We see most of our customers, you have an app which generates data, and then you want to report, and then you want to automate. And that idea of acting, analyzing, and automating requires you to use Power Apps, Power BI, and Power Automate. That's kind of the universal, broad platform perspective. And you see this kind of very consistently in these development platforms over time. Like Azure has hundreds of different services. I don't think we'll ever have hundreds of Power Platform services, but you do see this big push where there's a desire for a comprehensive platform which can solve from left to right of a solution. So definitely that's a unifying principle. We don't see that changing anytime soon. And if anything, there might be a few more Power Platform products sprouting up over the next couple of years. Like most recently, Power Pages just came out into preview earlier this year and reached general availability at Ignite in early October.
Yeah, so I take away, or the partners should take away, Power Platform is the umbrella, and there are these great products underneath that. Yeah.
Yep, that's exactly right. And I would say, like, if you think about like Office 365 as an umbrella, and then there's Excel and Word and PowerPoint, and kind of same idea. There's a unifying experience. Like if you learn one, you can learn the others. They're very focused on office workers, so all office workers. And also, you never just want to build just a PowerPoint or just a Word document. You have it spreadsheets, you do data analysis, and you do send emails. Anyway, so I'd say we kind of think of it like Office, although there's not like a Power Platform SKU, but we kind of think of this very similar package of capabilities.
Okay, it's very good that you're mentioning Office, because as far as I know, Viva is part of the Office 365 group. And so this partner wanted to know what integrations and connections can we expect between Power Platform and Viva in the upcoming future?
Yeah, we should expect a lot of deep integration between Power Platform and Viva. Because if you look, like Viva's overarching desire is to enable world-class employee experience and world-class employee engagement. And like Viva Connections or Viva Learning or Viva Goals are like all examples of that. And just like all our other business applications, there's a big need to support customization and extensibility around what you consume inside of Viva. And Power Platform is the tool for that, which is very exciting because we have a single platform for low code for all of Microsoft, for Office, for Azure, and for Dynamics. And it's called the Power Platform. So expect a lot more integration. And my team even builds one of the Viva apps. Viva Sales, as you can probably guess, is built by our team, the same team that builds Dynamics 365 Sales. And that ships as part of that Viva suite with additional add-ons. So I think you'll see a lot of tight integration. And over time, you'll actually see more and more and more integration between Office and Power Platform, and between Windows and Power Platform. So I say stay tuned. There's some cool stuff coming down the pipe for sure.
Great. So we have two more questions to go. One is, I guess it's touching in a complete different area here, because this partner here is focused on Dynamics 365 Business Central, so formerly Navision and NAV. And how do you envision Business Central being connected to Power Platform?
Yeah, so our view is like cloud is the future, and Business Central is like the cloud version for a segment of our customers when it comes to ERP. And we've been amazed, we've been blown away by the energy and enthusiasm around Business Central. So what we think Power Platform will do around Business Central is really two things. The first is we think that because Business Central is primarily a partner-led product, that basically it's our partner in our ecosystem extend, customize, and provide services around it. We think Power Platform will provide an essential ingredient to building those tailored, verticalized, targeted solutions on top of Business Central. So you can customize a Business Central, and you can build apps and automate workflows and build Power BI dashboards around it. So it'll be another tool in our Business Central partner ecosystem alongside customizing core Business Central. The second thing is we're also looking to see how can we reach and enable customers who use BC, which are very different people who use, say, F&O historically. How can we enable them to foster citizen development as well? So we're exploring some different because in those cases, there's less of an IT presence, less of a concern around governance, more employee empowerment. So we're kind of experimenting around both. The first one is much more baked around making BC world-class through Extensibility and Power Platform, although we have a lot of work planned for better connectors and data integration. The second piece is one that's more exploratory. We think both will really be game-changing and help BC further stand out from the crowd. But all that said, BC is on fire in the good way, in terms of growing so quickly right now. And just because there's a really great sweet spot that's hitting in the market where there's not a lot of great cloud ERP functionality.
Great. I guess this is very helpful for Business Central partners so that they don't feel left out of the whole game. Yeah, so it's good news.
Yes,
yeah.
Yes.
And here's the last question from the partners. What can we, the partners, do to make your life easier?
I would say probably, I'll say three things. First thing is keep growing. Because what we're starting to see in the market, because we've had so many years of accelerated growth for Dynamics and Power Platform, one of the biggest limiting factors for our customers is partners which have the skilling and capability to support them. So, there's a bunch of partners out there I've been talking with, you're on 30, 40, 50% year over year. That is hard to do, right? That's a lot of people to train and hire. So I'd say the best thing you can do is grow with us. Hopefully you see the demand out there around Dynamics and Power Platform, grow with us. That's probably the first and most important right now. Second thing is I would love for more partners to branch out and explore additional ISV or IP solutions which extend Dynamics and Power Platform. So in addition to providing services, but having those capabilities and apps built on the same platform, integrate with the same data model, and help our customers in place and are highly repeatable. And we think there is so much opportunity around Dynamics and Power Platform, and that there will be a whole bunch of big companies with IPOs and whatnot that will be created doing exactly that. So I say branch out into some more IP. Third piece, and one that is, I think, near and dear to our heart, is help us with this move to cloud and customer success mental shift. Like gone are the days where there's a whole bunch of work up to a go live or a whole bunch of work up to a sale and then everybody disappears. We're now in a world of you go live and you want more value the next quarter, more value the next quarter, more value the next quarter. So help us in that ongoing support, ongoing service, ongoing transformation, which customers increasingly demand, and less of the big bang once every 10 years project. So I'd say those are probably the three things I put out there. Keep growing, grow with us, expand into IP where possible, and help us shift to ongoing customer success. All three are critical things, and all three will be what we have to kind of solve together to go take this amazing community, this amazing ecosystem to a whole nother level.
Great. Thank you. I guess this is a very good takeaway. And also the other answers that you gave are very, very good to help partners better understand what you envision, how you think about the future of the Power Platform. This is awesome. Thank you very much. I would like to take the chance to ask one question on our own behalf, because it's just because you just said that. And so we are already growing more than 40% per year. We are ISV number one in specific reasons for Microsoft. We are doing an ISV business. So pretty much we already touch all these points that you just said. Can we do something to improve also? We at Hubdrive.
I mean, I would say the biggest thing is keep the feedback flowing. Like keep pushing the envelope of what you can do with the platform and with the applications, and let us know where you can improve. Because like y'all have helped push the boundaries of what's possible over the last couple of years. I'd say I don't like to think we're quite far from being done. So keep the feedback flowing and kind of keep us accountable and take us to task as needed to make sure we evolve the products and platforms to really be the products and platforms that our customers need through the next 10, 20 years. Because that's what our goal is. Okay,
we keep in touch with you, definitely. And keep you.
Maybe be careful what I wish for, right?
No, we do it carefully. Yeah?
Sounds good.
So thank you very much, Charles. It was a pleasure having you as a speaker today here at the Partner Conference for HR. And I'm very thankful that you took the time, and it was very good. Thank you.
Likewise. Thank you. Have a great rest of the conference, and thanks for having me. Have a good one, everybody.
Thank you.